The confetti has fallen and the Kansas City Chiefs are your Super Bowl champions. Even if you aren't a fan, you can still find reason to celebrate because it is officially draft season. And what better way to start it off than with a new mock draft here on the 2-minute drill. Like I said last time, I think context makes a mock better, so let's go over some offseason moves that will impact the way teams approach this draft. At quarterback, this isn't free agency, but I have the Raiders trading for Aaron Rodgers, giving their second-round pick this year and a conditional pick next year that will either be a second or first, depending on performance. I have Derek Carr signing with the New Orleans Saints after the Raiders decide to cut him, Jimmy Garoppolo signing with the New York Jets, Jacoby Brissett signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Baker Mayfield going to the Arizona Cardinals to help fill in for Kyler Murray while he's injured. At running back, I have the Vikings cutting Dalvin Cook, and he goes to the Buffalo Bills, teaming up with his brother in that backfield. I think it would be absolutely excellent. Bills need some playmakers. I think they're more than happy to pay the price. David Montgomery to the Carolina Panthers, Miles Sanders to the Chicago Bears, Damian Harris to the Philadelphia Eagles, and Devin Singletary to the Jacksonville Jaguars. At wide receiver, I have Odell Beckham Jr. signing with the Dallas Cowboys, DJ Chark signing with the Carolina Panthers, Allen Lazard signing with the Indianapolis Colts, Corey Davis signing with the Atlanta Falcons, and Michael Thomas teaming back up with Dan Campbell. They're willing to take the risk. Worst case, they still have a very good unit of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams, but if Michael Thomas is back healthy and playing well, that is a deadly unit. Also worth mentioning, I have the Cleveland Browns trading for DeAndre Hopkins and the New York Giants trading for Brandon Cooks in this situation. At tight end, I have Mike Gesicki signing with the Carolina Panthers, Robert Tonyan Jr. signing with the Detroit Lions, Irv Smith Jr. signing with the Atlanta Falcons, and Foster Moreau signing with the Miami Dolphins. Moving over to the trenches, I have the Chicago Bears signing Juwan Taylor from the Jacksonville Jaguars to play right tackle for them. Taylor Lewan signing with the Bills. They continue to make splash plays in this free agency. Isaiah Wynn signing with the Raiders, hoping to revive his play from earlier in his career. And Andre Dillard signing with the Kansas City Chiefs to potentially compete for that right tackle position. On the interior offensive line, I have Dalton Risner signing with the Las Vegas Raiders as they make a title run with Aaron Rodgers at QB. I have Isaac Sumalo signing with the New York Giants as they look to shore up the offensive line. And I have David Edwards of the Los Angeles Rams signing with the Atlanta Falcons. On the defensive line, I have the Bears continuing to make splash plays, going for Javon Hargrave from the Philadelphia Eagles, Greg Gaines signing with the Seattle Seahawks, David Onyemata signing with the Houston Texans, Shai Tuttle signing with the Atlanta Falcons, and then Derek Nottie signing with the New Orleans Saints. At the edge position, I have Marcus Davenport going to the Chicago Bears, Bud Dupree to the Arizona Cardinals, Robert Quinn to the Tennessee Titans, and Jadeveon Clowney signing with the Los Angeles Rams. At linebacker, I have the Bears signing Jermaine Pratt, TJ Edwards going to the Carolina Panthers, Kaiser White going to the Washington Commanders, Eric Kendricks signing with the Los Angeles Chargers after I project him to get cut, and Devin Bush signing with the Seattle Seahawks. At cornerback, I have James Bradbury making a big signing with the Cincinnati Bengals. I have the Vikings going all in on corner, going Jamel Dean. I think Brian Flores needs a guy that's going to be a star at the corner position. Dean is young and very talented. After that, I have Patrick Peterson signing with the Philadelphia Eagles, Amani Oruwariye signing with the New England Patriots, and Shaquille Griffin projected to be cut. I have him going to the Houston Texans. At safety, I have Jesse Bates III signing with the Atlanta Falcons, Taylor Rapp signing with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Marcus Epps signing with the Houston Texans, Tashawn Gibson signing with the Washington Commanders, and Adrian Amos signing with the Las Vegas Raiders. So now that that's out of the way, we can officially dive into the draft, and we have the Colts trading up for the first pick here and taking Kentucky quarterback Will Levis. Would this be my pick? No, and I could be wrong, but Ballard seems like a Levis or Stroud guy, and I think the league is going to be higher on Levis than many fans are. With the second pick, the Houston Texans come in and select Alabama quarterback Bryce Young. Some believe the Texans could skip on quarterback altogether and build the rest of the roster. I don't think so. You have a chance to set your team up long-term here, while the other positions of need are easier to hit on with later picks. Young just makes too much sense. The Arizona Cardinals are next up, and they go ahead and take Will Anderson Jr. While I projected them to sign Bud Dupree, they still need to add young studs to the defense, and getting Will Anderson here should help the defense take a major step forward next season. The Chicago Bears are now on the clock after the trade, and they take Jalen Carter, defensive lineman out of Georgia. Eberflus was a part of the Buckner trade when he arrived in Indianapolis, and it helped the defense take a big step forward. He'll look at adding Carter to make a similar impact. With the fifth pick, the Seahawks are on the clock, and I have them taking Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech. Wilson is a big, athletic freak that can operate all over the defensive line. The Seahawks are looking to add contributors to their defense, and Wilson is a great first step. The Lions trade back from number 6, and the Carolina Panthers are now on the clock, and they'll take CJ Stroud, quarterback out of Ohio State. Panthers have too good of a roster to sit back right now. They need their next quarterback to hit, whether that's in free agency or in the draft. In this situation, they move up to secure Stroud, and I like their odds of being able to build and contend for the NFC South title very soon. The Raiders are on the clock at 7, and I have them taking Christian Gonzalez, cornerback out of Oregon. Gonzalez has the size, speed, and physicality to thrive in the NFL. The Raiders' cornerback room was plagued with injuries last season, but getting Gonzalez to help add to the unit and be a young centerpiece going forward is definitely good for Las Vegas. And at pick 8, I have the Atlanta Falcons select Myles Murphy, edge rusher out of Clemson, to add to their defense and continue building up the pass rush that has been lacking in years past. Following the trade back, the Lions are now on the clock, and they'll take Georgia cornerback Kelee Ringo. The NFL should love a guy like Ringo, and while he's had some inconsistent play, I look at guys like Derek Stingley and Patrick Surtain in years past where teams just want to see the flashes and will gamble on themselves to unlock that ability full time. I'd bet it works out for the Lions. With the 10th pick, the Eagles also go corner and take Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State. With Bradbury gone and the corner room not the youngest, getting Porter Jr. as a long-term piece should be big for the Eagles as they look to continue contending. At 11, the Titans select Paris Johnson Jr., offensive tackle out of Ohio State. Last year, the Titans O-line tried just about everyone at left tackle, and it all went poorly. Getting Johnson helps fill the position for the long term, and as the line comes back healthy, should allow the Titans offense to look better than the monstrosity it was last season. At 12, I'm going a little spicy, and the Houston Texans select Felix Onyedike-Uzomah, edge rusher out of Kansas State. The amount of explosiveness and pass rush success that he showcases off the edge, with being just 21 years old, is very enticing. People from the 49ers tree seem to highly covet getting people to play the edge. I think Onyedike-Uzomah could be the surprise selection here, and I'd love the pick. With the 13th pick, the New York Jets select Broderick Jones, offensive tackle out of Georgia. The Jets need their left tackle position solved, and I think Becton could easily be shipped off. I look at the Jets to grab their favorite tackle here, and I think it should be Jones. The New England Patriots are on the clock at 14, and I have them picking USC wide receiver Jordan Addison. Even with Myers back in this situation, I think the Patriots could look to add a long-term piece to their receiving unit. Addison is very exciting and offers them the chance to add an elite wideout. With the 15th pick, the Green Bay Packers select Alabama safety Brian Branch. Amos is a free agent and hasn't really been playing his best ball lately, so the Packers grab Branch, who had work all over the Alabama secondary and looked like a stud in the process. At 16, the Washington Commanders select Devin Witherspoon, cornerback out of Illinois. The Commanders' secondary was rough last season, and they need to fix that issue if they have any hopes of getting into playoffs next year. Witherspoon is a twitchy corner with plenty to like in his game. With the 17th pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Florida offensive guard O'Cyrus Torrence. The Steelers love the big burly lineman, and Torrence fits that mold. Adding him to the offensive line to help protect Pickett is a necessary and worthwhile investment. The Seahawks jump the Buccaneers here and trade with the Lions to get Anthony Richardson, quarterback out of Florida. Geno is a great quarterback, but he's getting older and probably isn't someone long-term for Seattle to count on. Getting Richardson there developing while Smith remains the starter for the next 1 to 2 years could be a great way for Seattle to keep up their success. The Buccaneers move back now with the current board as the Baltimore Ravens clamor to move up and select TCU wide receiver Quentin Johnston. If the Ravens are able to keep Lamar, they should also need to invest in his weapons. Getting him a big wideout like Johnston to work opposite of Bateman should help the offense take a big step forward next season. And the Lions are on the clock after their second trade down of the night, and they pick Brian Brzee, defensive tackle out of Clemson. Brzee flashes plenty of upside, and that's coming off of an ACL injury last season. Assuming he continues to heal and continues to develop, this could be a huge steal here at 20 for Detroit. After the Dolphins' forfeited pick, the Chargers are on the clock, and they grab Zay Flowers, wide receiver out of Boston College. Flowers can do it all at wide receiver, and the Chargers could use some passing game help. Flowers would likely operate early as a deep threat, but if Allen continues to struggle with injuries, Flowers could shine all over the field for Los Angeles. After moving back a little bit, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are back on the clock, and they'll take Drew Sanders, the linebacker out of Arkansas. Levante David is getting older and could be done altogether, and Sanders is a worthwhile investment who can also step over and help out as an edge rusher as needed. That type of versatility is very valuable, and the Bucs would be lucky to have it. Next up, the Minnesota Vikings are on the clock at 23, and after cutting Dalvin Cook, they go ahead and add Bijan Robinson, running back out of Texas. Robinson is a do-it-all back that can help the offense cook on the ground. Getting younger at the position for less money and similar talent is great for the Vikings as they look to make a run again next season. With the 24th pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars take Peter Skoronski, guard out of Northwestern. I think Skoronski lacks the length for teams to put him on the outside, but the Jags will still be happy to add him to the offensive line at guard and help protect Lawrence and have versatility in case Robinson or Little do get hurt. At pick 25, the New York Giants take Trenton Simpson, linebacker out of Clemson. The Giants' defense could add some additional young talent, and Simpson should definitely be a stud in Martindale's defense. While the Giants were a team that I had go quarterback last time, there's still a chance that they keep riding with Jones long term, like in this timeline here. With the 26th pick, the Dallas Cowboys take South Carolina cornerback Cam Smith. The Cowboy defense could use some cornerback help, and Smith would be a great physical presence for Dan Quinn on the outside. The Buffalo Bills are up at 27, and they pick Antonio Johnson, safety out of Texas A&M. The Bills were doing heavy research on the safety class last year and ultimately passed, but it came back to bite them with all the injuries that they faced. With Poyer and Hyde getting a year older, I don't think they can make that mistake again. Adding Johnson, a guy who I think is a tremendous free safety prospect, would be a great selection here at 27. Next up are the Cincinnati Bengals at 28, and I have them going Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame. Hayden Hurst is a pretty high-quality player, but it shouldn't stop the Bengals from adding young studs for the long term, and Mayer should be just that. At 29, the Saints are now on the clock, and they take Jackson Smith-Njigba, wide receiver out of Ohio State, to add to their offense. Olave will probably force this pick to be made, but getting the duo back together with Carr at QB should have Saints fans very excited about their chances to make playoffs next season. The Philadelphia Eagles are now up for a second time this round, and they go Georgia edge rusher Nolan Smith. Smith is an exciting playmaker that unfortunately dealt with injuries this year. I think the NFL may really like him as he has some good tape, so 30 could be too late, but for now the Eagles would be more than happy to have him. And to wrap it all up, the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs select Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver out of Tennessee. While Juju and Tony have been quality pieces, I think the Chiefs add a deep threat in Hyatt to help open the offense even more. The Chiefs have enough flexibility to bring back most of their free agents. After that, it's house money, and Hyatt is an exciting upside selection. And that's all for this mock draft, but if you want to see rounds 2 and 3, subscribe to the 2 Minute Drill Patreon with the link in the bio below. Comment in the comment section what you think of this draft. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And that's the 2 Minute Drill.